Alright, so I have been doing a lot of sewing, which means I need to take a minute to clean my sewing machine up. The thread has been causing a lot of fuzz and lint, because that just happens while you work, and so let's start on the top side here. Handy brush, just get behind the needle bar there, and I'm gonna rotate it down. You see, that's the spot where it fully retracts, and it puts a little bar of lint around there, and then I'm just running my brush all up in there to get as much of that lint out of here as possible. And I fluff my brush and get the lint off the brush, but there. Alright, the top is done now. Let's move. If I hit the there. And then under in the bobbin case, you can see it's just loaded with fuzz in here. Pull the bobbin out, brush that up, set it aside, just sweep all the fuzz off the door here real quick. And then these two clips hold this front race in. Pop that off and just wipe it with my hands. Oh, and you can see there's a big wad of lint right here in the back side of the race, and that's all in the way of the needle, or the underside hook rather, so you gotta get that out of there. And then the hook, it's called the hook because it's got this big point on it to hook the thread, but you can see there's lint built up in here, and then all up inside there, it's all fuzzy. Get all that out of there. So I think I explained all this on my refurb video when I did that Kenmore, but the bobbin sits inside here, and this hook grabs the upper thread and makes a big loop and wraps it around the bobbin, and then the thread has to go all the way around this whole hook case here so that it can get all the way around the bobbin, and that's how you get a lock stitch. But that means that all that lint that builds up in there, all that is stuff that can prevent the thread from traveling smoothly. And I don't have my oil out because I think everything feels kind of oiled enough, but I should probably put a dab of oil on this when I reassemble it, so I will probably do that. And then the challenge always being too much oil helps collect lint better. And yep, it's high time I clean this, because that heavily caked bit of lint helps bind things, and there was a heavily caked bit of lint down here, and make sure every time I move this I'm not moving it away from the camera. A big wad of lint through this hole here, and by tilting the machine up I can tip the door open better and then get that big wad of lint out of there. That big wad of lint came out of there. Rotate this so that I can get on the other side of the race here and get that big wad of lint out from behind the hook area. And rotate back. Alright. Set the hook back in place. Sets in its race there. Oh, come on. There. Sets in the race, and then put the ring back on, and it's got a pin on the bottom here to line it up, and then the clips. I'll leave the bobbin case out for now, and then the last thing is under the plate here, and I've got this clip-on foot, so I'm going to get that out of the way, and then we'll loosen our two screws to take the plate off and get up underneath it. My washing machine is unbalanced in the background there, but also this table is not very flat because my machine is wobbling all over thanks to it's got 4 feet on the back half of the machine, and then this 5th one under this bar is clearly higher than everything else, but there we go. Got this off, and see all this lint packed under the feed dogs here. Get that out because I used to work at a thrift store, and we'd get sewing machines donated, and I cleaned and tuned them up for sale, and I would routinely see machines that someone had cleaned, but they had not cleaned under the plate, and that here under the feed dogs, and the lint would build up under the feed dogs so heavily that the machine would bind just from all that material being packed up between these dogs and the plate there. And there were a couple times, one of the benefits of the very, very old machines is that they were all timed with clamps, so that if they got jammed up, if you were lucky, the clamp would give way and the machine would just go out of time instead of snapping a pin or breaking apart. And there were a couple times I got machines that were very old and had been jammed up, and someone had tried to unjam them and gotten it to move a little bit, but then hadn't realized those clamps had slipped and the machine was out of time. And it's nice because those can be fixed relatively easily if you don't jam on them too hard, but obviously it also means that if you don't get the clamps just right, they'll slip during regular operation and the machine will get out of adjustment. So this machine is modern enough, it's got pins and heavy set screws everywhere, so if it jams, you have to be careful, because after your machine jams, if you don't work it gently to free it up and then clean it really well, the next step is breaking stuff. So anyhow, that is dirtier than I thought it would be, so I'm glad I stopped to clean it out. Especially the behind the hook there. I didn't realize there was going to be so much worked in behind the hook. So I clearly have been doing more sewing than I thought with this, and it definitely needed a clean. So that's that, and hopefully if you've got your own machine, this is a reminder to check yours and clean it.